interesting too, because I was just, before I came here, I was talking to an agent in our Keller office, and they were like, what is going on? One agent is selling 5 homes this week, and it feels like they're taking off. The next one is still in this lull. It feels really spotty. So it's been fun. This is like my favorite thing to do, is just analyze all of the information. You know, what are those people doing? How are they pricing? How are they working for their clients? So never has it been more important to work with people who know what they're doing. And I think it's really showing right now that, you know, to be honest, when I entered in this industry, it was kind of a set it and forget it. You'd throw a listing up, it would sell itself. You really didn't have to work as hard, you know, to get eyes on your listing, to compete on the market. And we are in a market right now that realtors need to be sharper than ever, and they need to be really working for their clients.
What year did you join?
So apparently we're having a super relaxed conversation today. One of us in the room is not even wearing shoes. They're wearing flip-flops, and
You were not going to call me out.
she was concerned with wearing shoes.
Beach day, huh?
My shoes
It's
are
a
in my
beach
bag,
day.
just for the record. I
For
brought
the
my
record,
shoes.
I'm the one with shoes on.
We've got
Are you today?
Yeah.
We've got one in a Hawaiian shirt that's got mermaids and guitars on it. No, hula girls, and then we have one in flip-flops. And then there's 2 professional gentlemen in here. I'm not going to say who they are, but
You're in
Jeff.
such good company.
But Jeff, great job.
Jeans and t-shirt.
In case you're wondering where you are right now, you're with the San Luis Obispo Real Estate Podcast with Bobbie Kelly, John Turner, Jeff Kingman, and myself, Mr. Good. Remember that, Bobbie? You like
Mr.
that,
Good.
Mr.
You
Good. is
love
here.
that. Yeah.
I do. That's my alter ego.
We'll give it to you.
James, you must have read the book Dress for Success years ago.
I did. I've read a
good.
few books. I've read a few
Good.
books. All right. So, anyways, I think we just decided we're going to quiz Bobbie Kelly today
Great. I'm out of here.
since
I'm outta here.
Hal's not here. He's off listing a home, I believe. So we had to get this podcast going. So, John, what are we going to do?
Hey, I was just really excited to talk to Bobbie. Bobbie's the CEO of Keller Williams here on the Central Coast. I was just, you know, it's an industry that just changes. Like, it seems like the weather in the Midwest changes every 20 minutes, right?
It's true.
I mean,
It's so true.
we're going through all kinds of monumental change every day in this industry. What are you seeing out there right now that kind of comes to mind?
I mean, it's true. It's the industry is changing. 2, our industry is people. So you're always, I mean, there's no guarantee with, you know, people are constantly changing. They're going through life events. It's a really entertaining industry to be in. I actually now, so I'm the CEO of Keller Williams Central Coast, and I'm the general manager now for Meggers Management Group. So I get a seat in Tulare County, down in Porter Ranch, as well as Ventura, Ojai area. So I can see the whole gamut of what's going on. And it's actually been a really positive few weeks, I would say.
What do you mean by a positive few weeks?
Positive
How
few weeks.
do you define that?
So how I define it is when I walk into all these different offices, if the office is full, people's spirits are high, they're busy with income producing activities. So people are out, you know, showing homes, they're working on getting buyers pre-qualified, they're active in, there's a difference in our industry, and we kind of, from a training standpoint, it's what I bring realtors back to a lot of times, is what are your income producing activities and what is your busy work? When people are out there doing the things that make them money, the morale goes up. So
So
Yeah, go ahead.
when somebody asks a real estate professional, you know, tell me about the market. There really are 2 markets that we could talk about, right? One is what's going on with pricing in the real estate industry. And the second is what's going on with the amount of activity or the number of transactions, right?
Right.
So what I'm hearing you say we've had, 24 months of some of the lowest activity
Yep.
in the real estate industry's history?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
And what I'm hearing you say is maybe the worm's starting to turn a little bit on that?
So it feels, the activity is showing that we would expect more sales to be coming. I can't sit there and say that the sales, that we're seeing that
Yeah.
right now in the numbers, but the energy is really good and it feels like people are busy right now, which is great.
Yeah, remember a few weeks back we had Ben Lerner, who's a local lender, on with us, and he said that his activity and inventory of applicants is sort of returning to more of a normal or average level.
Yeah.
Yet our activity hasn't returned to average yet.
So it's interesting too, because before I came here, I was talking to an agent in our Keller office, and they were like, what is going on? One agent is selling 5 homes this week, and it feels like they're taking off. The next one is still in this lull. It feels really spotty. So it's been fun. This is like my favorite thing to do, is just analyze all of the information. What are those people doing? How are they pricing? How are they working for their clients? So never has it been more important to work with people who know what they're doing. And I think it's really showing right now that, to be honest, when I entered in this industry, it was kind of a set it and forget it. You'd throw a listing up, it would sell itself. You really didn't have to work as hard, to get eyes on your listing, to compete on the market. And we are in a market right now that realtors need to be sharper than ever, and they need to be really working for their clients.
What year did you join the industry?
I think it was 2015.
So after the dip, right? After
Oh, yeah.
7, 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
and the market was starting to, you're right. From 15 to recently, you've never been in a market that wasn't just climbing
Right.
the whole way, right?
It's always going up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little different these days.
Yeah, we
for sure.
talked to some of the folks in our office, and I know our listing manager, Sharon Benedict. Sharon has been in this industry for, I think, 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's seen the type of market that we're in today.
Right.
Hal Swayze has seen the type of market that we're in today.
Yeah.
But the rest of our sales team has never seen this kind of market, right? And so they're having to, it's been there, done that for Sharon and Hal. These guys are having to adapt, right?
Yeah. That's why it's so powerful. I love that about our group is, being able to work with people who have weathered the storms already. And to them, it's like, you guys, I think I heard one of our agents the other day say, this is nothing. We're all good. We're all still fed. This is nothing compared to what he's lived through. So it's nice to have that perspective for sure.
And have you noticed this? Dakota Bailey, who's our escrow manager, shared with me recently, and one of our title reps shared with me that their cancellation rate is almost 50%, meaning the number of escrows that get opened, only a little over 50% of them actually close escrow, and the deal gets done.
I'm interested in when did they give you that info?
This was a month or so ago.
Okay. Yeah, because especially within the last 30 days, the cancellation rate has been significantly less.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, Dakota told me that our cancellation rate was far lower than what, he was hearing from the title rep. But still, our cancellation rate is higher than it's been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when it really does show expectations that an agent's setting, preparing your buyers and sellers for the process. It's like some of those are inevitable, and they will cancel just because of whatever extenuating circumstances. But there are quite a few that when I get into conversation with realtors that could be avoided if your training's right and you're have an experienced agent who knows how to handle that.
So the level of work, I guess I can't think of a better term, but the level of work that it takes to list and sell a property today compared to 5 years ago. How would you compare?
Double.
Yeah. It just more effort, more energy.
It takes more time. It takes more effort. I think one of the benefits that came from the NAR settlement, I know nobody likes talking about it, but people, and just in general, I think the culture that we live in, the consumer is more educated now. So there's more questions being asked. There's more information needed to feel comfortable. So it's important for agents to, know what the heck they're talking about and to have the facts up front and to be able to really guide people through this. I remember there was a time when there was a lot of blind trust going on in our industry. So I think that we're dealing with a more educated consumer, and it takes more work, which, I think it's great.
So if you're a seller or a seller's agent, it's taking more time, more effort, probably more patience to get a property sold today. What if you're a buyer or a buyer's agent? What's different today than maybe 3 or 4 years ago?
Than 3 or 4 years ago? I mean, buyers are educated. I feel like I'm seeing people hold out a little bit more for what they really, really want. Whereas it's funny, we used to have like the dream is buying the property. The dream is getting your hands on it and owning it. Now it's a little bit more detail oriented, so I think that's part of as a buyer's agent, your job is also coaching people to be realistic, and helping them see the vision long term. So maybe, yes, once we get this property, you can create the dream, the dream home and all the things you want, but really trying to rein in expectations especially on the Central Coast. I mean, it's a rough market to be buying your first property, and there's just not a ton to pick from.
So I'm sure you get this question, when you're out and about in the public or go to a kid's soccer game or something. Mm-hmm. Are values on the Central Coast going up or down? Depends
on the property. I know you love those ones.
That's Hal Swayze's answer too.
It's the truth. And I think that, it's funny because I work with a lot of realtors, and I'm really lucky I get to be in this community. There's awesome realtors out there, but I'm always so entertained by listening to how other people answer that question. There's always a few moms and dads on the soccer sidelines that, are in the industry. And I know it's entertaining. You can laugh. But it kind of still sets me back if people think that they have a solid, concrete answer for anything. Like, that's one thing we are constantly studying. That's what I love about this industry is it keeps you on your toes, and you have to stay at the top of your game if you want to stick around as long as a Hal Swayze, But to sit and think that you have the answers is just silly.
A couple months ago, we learned, maybe less than a couple months, maybe 30 days ago, we learned that somewhere between a quarter and a third of all of our listings that are on the multiple listing service are having price reductions. Does that surprise you?
It's one of those things, it's like, and I swear it comes in like 2-week increments where you kind of see that happen. I don't think it's tough when your clients are seeing that and they're thinking everything, if they hear that conversation, then they're expecting the house that they just fell in love with to have a price decrease. So I got to be careful the way that you talk to the community about that. I think it's property specific, and it's that usually, and I don't know if I can say this or not, I'll look to see who the agent is, because if a price doesn't seem right to me, there's certain agents that they're just going to try for everything they can. They're not having those educated conversations with their client. They're just taking that listing and hoping for the best. I think that's a responsibility we have in this industry, is to educate people and in reality with what we probably can get. So yeah, I think that, you're always trying to catch up to the market and price it right. But there are quite a few on the Central Coast that know what they're doing.
You remind me of an old question that I was taught, and it's, would you like me to be polite, or would you prefer me to be honest?
Yeah, that's a good one.
And sometimes we have to have those honest conversations with sellers who want to aspirationally price their property, right? And now's not the time to do it that way.
Yeah. Well, and it depends on their goal. I mean, if it doesn't matter to them, that's the thing though, as an agent, for the time, energy, and money you put into getting a house on the market, I'm not going to take a listing that I don't think can sell in a reasonable amount of time. Like, it just doesn't make sense if you're running a business. People who are in this more as like a hobby might be more willing to take that and just let it sit. But it's a reflection of the realtor you're working with.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And as we see more price reductions, could someone take from that prices, home values are going down in our county? I mean, we haven't seen that for many, many, many years, since 2008, 9-ish.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure they would want to take that. That would be,
if you're a buyer, you want to believe values are going down because you're going to get a deal, right?
That's what I always tell the kids. You get to choose what to believe. Choose what makes you happy. But that is, I don't see that in all reality. I don't see that happening right now.
Yeah, we have seen over the last few months properties sell very quickly, like less than a week, and we've seen properties that stay on the market, and 60 days later we're still thinking, how are we going to get this property sold at this price?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's price and condition every time. Is that right? Oh, maybe throw in location too?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Price and condition. And I think that's the thing is, it's our job to present things as well as we can and to get as many eyes on it as we can. So everyone has a different, tactic to do that. But ultimately, you just got to bring as many people through that property as you can.
So do you remember the episode we did where we had Ben Lerner? I brought up his name a few minutes ago, and we were guessing on interest rates, right? Where they're going forward. I'm going to put you on the spot here and go, where do you see our activity level going between now and the end of the year? Do you think we're going to have a better second half than a first half on the number of transactions? Not just hoping we do.
I was going to say, I sure as hell hope
we
so.
all hope we will. But.
Yeah, I just with the activity I've seen, it would lead me to believe that we will have a better second half, that we will pick up. Man, we are due for it.
We are.
We are due for it, for sure. And for all the agents out there who are working so hard, I do hope that that's where we're headed. It's just, this is the climate right now. I hate making any assumptions because I feel like,
I told you I was putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
I'll go with yes.
One of my friends who's a real estate agent, I mean, he's just been working as hard as he's ever worked the first 6 months. And when he looks at his results, he's so far behind his goal. Yeah. And yet all of a sudden in July, boom, he's already done more in July than he did in the first 6 months of the year.
That's awesome.
So, I'm hoping that, and that's true in our office as well. What has gone into escrow in July is so far our best month out of the year, and I just knock on wood that continues for the rest of the year, and we can dance with a lampshade on our head on December 31st going, we hit our goals.
It's true though, and I think that's where it's like we decide as humans like what amount of effort should equal the reward. And really, I mean, if you just stick around long enough, if you keep doing the things, it does always come through. It's like I think about Hal being ready to quit the day that he finally got into his first contract. It's like you're just one day away when you put all the right efforts in. So,
well, I always used to say in my old industry, good things happen to good people, especially when those good people are working.
It's true.
Right?
It's a true story.
Nothing works till you do.
Yep. So, you create it. For
well, hey, do you guys have any questions for Miss Bobbie before we let you take us home here?
This is something we've never covered, and I'll edit it out if you guys don't have an answer.
Well, that's a great start.
How much are you guys leaning on AI in what you do?
Oh,
how much are we what?
Leaning on AI. So to be honest, I just 2 months ago, I went to a really cool conference. I think I told you guys about it, the future of real estate, and was floored at how people are using AI in their business. It's become it's kind of like having a new employee. Honestly, that's what it feels like to me. I have a new assistant. So the products that we use and the systems that we use are incorporating AI already. Like that's just where the world has gone. But as a team locally, we are implementing it on a daily basis and really trying to get to the point where it's our first line of defense, rather than, I know it sounds kind of bad, but human energy can be used so much more fully when it's freed up to just.
But you told me a funny story a few minutes ago before we started recording. Yeah. You got to tell that story.
Okay, so I was actually using the lovely Chat GPT to do some research for something I was doing, maybe a team meeting, maybe coming in here, and I was looking up some stats, and it references where the stats are coming from. And so as I went through, I was like, I'm fact checking. Don't worry, guys. I'm trying my best. And it actually quoted the House Wazy podcast for some of the facts. So I was like, oh, shoot, we're giving ourselves.
Was that your quote or was it Hal's or John's?
Maybe we were making stuff up. You never know.
I should have printed it out because I was like, this is exciting. We've officially made it.
Hey, Jeff, but I'll answer your question. Just this week, I had to take a couple of time tests online, non-real estate related, and if I didn't know the answer, I didn't study, so I knew about 50% of the questions just because I knew them, but the other 50%, and I had to get 80% to pass. The others I looked up on my phone while I'm taking the test on my desktop, and AI, I passed it.
Oh,
You just shared a cheating
Yeah.
story on.
It didn't say I couldn't do that,
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I feel like now,
and I didn't tell you what the test was
Wait,
for.
sure.
So
if it's driving related, we're gonna have to talk after this.
in the
it
same
was
vein,
non-real estate. I said.
Okay.
do you find that people that are either looking to list or buy are also doing their research on AI?
Oh yeah. Which, I mean, it's good to remember that AI gives you what you give it. So you have to be feeding it with good information. Like, I've learned that I don't just go on and search. Or like the other day, I wanted to come up with like a 30, 60, 90 success plan. And I had it reference coaches that I like, books that I read, like the Millionaire Real Estate podcast and book. So you have to give it the content you want. Otherwise, it's just pulling from the open web.
Right.
So, I mean, it can give you some poor advice for sure.
Jeff, the main real estate aggregators in our country have been given home value estimates for years.
That's true.
And I just marvel at some of them can be spot on right, but others are so far off because of what you just said. What you put in to the technology world is what you're going to get out in the technology. And I tell this story about while I was building my house in Cayucas, I got to live a 3.5-year vacation in a house right on the beach. And I know that house today is worth a minimum of $4 million. And I get a Zillow estimate I don't know if I can say Zillow or not, but I just did. I get a Zillow estimate every month, and it's $2 million. A year ago it was 1.2, wow. So it's going up.
Yeah,
but
not even close.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
And so AI is really good, and when you combine that with a real human, it makes it even better.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does matter. I don't think we're ever going to escape needing the human mind to make sense of it all.
But if you're a buyer or a seller and you go on to a major aggregator and you look at that number, they come to the real estate agent going, well, wait, that's what right. That's right.
Yeah.
They assume it's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's been happening. I mean, since I started, for sure. That's
before
always
we
the
knew how to spell
conversation.
AI.
Yeah. And that's why it does matter, though, understanding. And that's so basically where that feeds from. A lot of the the programs you see out there, call it whatever it is, it comes from our MLS data. So it feeds right through there. And you have to remember, some agents don't fully do their job. They don't enter the data when a house sells. They don't enter it correctly. So it's basically feeding off of information that you're hoping is accurate. But really, the difference is when you work with an agent, like if I know somebody's looking for a property in a certain area, I'm calling that agent directly, asking them about the deals of it. So you really can't escape that.
You can't replace a human in this business.
It's true.
You can use to help.
Yeah,
but you
can
can't
do
replace.
incredible things with it now.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's great.
Well, Bobbie, this has been incredible getting to hear your perspective on what's going on out there, and I hope our listening and watching audience gets as much out of this as I have. So thank you so much.
That wasn't so bad.
Take us home, boys.
Okay, so
It was a great tea leaves conversation for sure. I mean, it's interesting to sit there and listen to this kind of information, go back and forth, and take what you will out of it, and not have to lean on AI to tell you what to take out of it.
It's true.
yeah, well, for marketing purposes, I use AI a lot. So the conferences,
The heck you say.
Yeah, the conferences I go to every year for marketing, real estate marketing, it's just more and more and more AI. So
It's true.
anyway, all right. Well, thank you very much, Bobbie. That was very informative. Those of you that are listening to our podcast, as always, make sure you like, share, subscribe on YouTube. And Jeff, your side?
Yeah, just search out the Slow County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze.
Or you can ask AI. Apparently, according to Bobbie,
I guess it's now just being referenced as,
It's just
as
on
a resource
AI.
for the overlords.
Yeah. And those of you that are already subscribed to our podcast on YouTube, thank you so much. I believe we're over 60,000 now, so that's awesome. Glad we can bring you great content, and we will continue to do that.
I miss Hal Swayze.
Me too.
who-
He would have been fun to have
Who
today.
who was that, John? All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. We'll see you.